This program is sponsored by Auckland City Council. Number 5 out of 215. Auckland's international ranking for quality of life.
We've got a very special way of opening today that's going to see this green transit banner dropped, and we're going to declare it officially open. We're going to get on our walk, and we're going to have a few more speeches down the other end with a bit of a family fun day as well. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
New Zealand's first dedicated 6.25 kilometre two-way busway with 5 stations that took 1 decade to build was inaugurated by the Prime Minister Helen Clark amid cheers from the hundreds who came to witness the historic occasion. The ribbon was cut at Smales Farm Station on Auckland's North Shore by the Prime Minister and Transit New Zealand Chairman Bryan Jackson.
E na iwi Ngāti Whātua, e na iwi o Te Motu, e na reo, e na mana, e na rangatira mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Arnold, kia ora. I know there's been a dawn ceremony. I know people got here very early, and I know what everyone's looking forward to now is the one and only time we're going to be able to walk down the busway, because those buses are going to be coming down so regularly, helping commuters get all the way from the shore through to the city for work and back again. So slightly longer speeches down the other end to talk about what an amazing project it is and what fantastic cooperation there's been at all levels of government, from our city council here, regional government, central government, to make this happen for the people on the shore. So let's get forward to walking. Great to see the walking school bus here, by the way. You're a good example to all of us.
Flanked by representatives of Transit New Zealand, North Shore City Council, Auckland Regional Transport Authority and the Auckland City Council to celebrate New Zealand's first ever two-way dedicated busway. A host of MPs from across the political spectrum were present. Locke Green Party MP was seen distributing pamphlets acknowledging their support for the busway. Shortly after, the Prime Minister was joined by hundreds of members of the public, along with North Shore's walking school bus, whose banner read, "Fueled by pure kids' power and energy," in what will be the only opportunity for members of the public to walk freely on the busway before it goes operational. The serpentine walk on the 1.5 kilometres from Smales Farm Station to Akoranga Station was done under intensely humid conditions, but they did not dampen the spirits of the walkers. Many families were seen with their kids in tow for the fun day. Entertainment included bands, face painting and a bouncy bus, and an opportunity to see the new stations up close. The dedicated public busway runs parallel to the Northern Motorway on Auckland's North Shore. The busway will have a wealth of passenger information, audio help and 24-hour security surveillance. For the first time in the country's transport sector, integrated ticketing, cycle lockers, covered walkways and drop-off zones for motorists will be on offer.
Time has come to unveil the plaque at the official opening of the Northern Busway stations.
Regional Chair Mike Lee, who's been a visionary for public transport in the Auckland area. It's been wonderful working with him. And don't you look at it and think, this is world class. I feel like I'm about to get on a really flash ferry when I look at this terminal, or a really flash first class train, but then I know that's what's going to come through this busway are first class buses. And thank you, Richie's great standard.
The Prime Minister said she hoped the public would opt for the alternative mode of public transport and embrace it. She said Auckland was growing rapidly and just building new roads was not a solution.
And it has been a huge construction process. It is a first for New Zealand to have something like this, but as Brian Jackson said, transit has drawn from great examples of big cities overseas which have offered this sort of alternative to driving the private car down the motorway. And it's all about making it easier for people on the shore to get into work in the city and back home again. And it's taking so many cars off the motorway, and as we go through to full operation of it, it's going to take many, many more off as well. The busway is just a part of the much bigger jigsaw of the changes in the Auckland transport network. And we've been working the past 8 years with regional and local government on getting Auckland moving. And I should acknowledge the Honourable Mark Goshi, our First Minister of Transport. He was the one who first gave a letter of comfort for this project to get on its way. There's huge investment going on across our metropolis, investment in public transport, railway, highways. Over 8 years we've taken up the annual central government, that's your taxes going into the Auckland Transport Network, money from around $250 million a year to $1 billion a year. And I think we're really starting to get traction and see the difference now. The roading network is important, and I've been over to the shore a couple of times in the not too distant past with the link from Greenhithe across to Albany, the Esmond Road interchange very close to here. There's scarcely a quarter of the year goes by where we're not celebrating some new initiative with the rail, with the double tracking, the electrification, the link between the southern and western lines. The projects roll on out. Public transport overall is an absolutely critical part of this. And on the shore, that means the buses and it means the ferries. And we are all working hard at every level of government to make public transport the preferred choice for commuters. That's the vision that we have. That way we take the hassle out of commuting, we reduce the congestion, we reduce the air pollution, we reduce the traffic noise, we reduce the carbon emissions from the transport sector, and that's very important in the 21st century. And overall, I think we make our cities more sustainable and nicer places to live in, and that's what we all wish for Auckland. Others have referred to the partnership that has made this possible, and I say again, it's been your government and central government agencies like Land Transport New Zealand and Transit. It's been North Shore City Council and Auckland City. It's been Auckland Regional Council and the Auckland Regional Transport Authority. Together, we've had a vision for a better way of getting Auckland moving, and it is working. And thank you to the lead contractor, Fletcher, and all the subcontractors who've made this possible. We all hope that commuters on the shore are going to embrace the busway as the preferred way of transiting through to the city and jobs and business over there, and that it will be used to its full potential.
Solving Auckland traffic issues, she said, is totally dependent on what the public use for transport. Otherwise, as soon as we build the roads, they are full.
Solving Auckland's traffic issues is totally dependent on more people using public transport. Otherwise, as soon as we build roads, they'll be full. So you've got to see the two together.
The $300 million transport project is expected to change the way Aucklanders think about public transport, said Brian Jackson, Chairman of Transit New Zealand. He pointed out that Transit, in conjunction with other partnering agencies, have taken an overview from cities like Brisbane, Adelaide, Toronto and Chicago, all of which have highly successful busways. Mr Jackson expressed his happiness at what he termed an amazing opportunity to work together with a consortium of agencies to achieve the objective of finishing the project on time and within the budget. He said the results were a pointer in that direction.
We have begun a new era in transport, one where we see all agencies cooperating to deliver 21st century solutions. And may I say, the cooperation has been nothing less than extraordinary. We are making the best use of the roads we have, and we are completing the existing transport network and increasing passenger transport options throughout the northern part of New Zealand, and particularly Auckland. We are following the example of cities like Brisbane, Adelaide, Toronto and Chicago, all of which have highly successful busways. Having removed most of the statistics, there are some that we still need to tell you about. The busway, as you heard, cost $300 million to build, and at $210 million came through various methods from central government, and very much of it through Transit New Zealand and Land Transport New Zealand. On the project at its peak, there were more than 300 workers on site. Tens of thousands of native trees and shrubs have been planted to soften the built environment and encourage biodiversity and reduce stormwater runoff. New nesting habitats were created for New Zealand dotterels and skinks, and eels were temporarily removed to avoid any destruction to them during construction.
Speaking on the service on hand for the public, he said the busway would ease the traffic congestion building up during the peak hours by plying buses every 3 minutes.
With Transit and Land Transport and the other agencies, I've never seen better cooperation with such a large group. And I think the result is that amazing working together and working out of one project office with all the different disciplines is just, you can see in the result what we've achieved.
What does this mean for the Auckland region as a whole?
I think it'll be an example to people that good projects can come in on time and on budget, that they do have a real effect on congestion, and they are modern, and they will hopefully encourage people in the rest of Auckland to look at public transport as an alternative to the car.
This will be some sort of a trendsetter, would you say, across the country?
Yes, it will. One of the great things here was that the actual road, the land was designated and available. It's not the case in many other parts of the country, unfortunately. So in Wellington, for instance, where land is very, very tight, it would be quite hard to duplicate this. But nonetheless, we can have dedicated bus lanes in some places which go part way to making the same sort of, or achieving the same sort of result.
Is your agency working with the other agencies in order to realize these kind of projects?
I think, I mean, even on any big project, we're working with the local councils, we're working with the regional council, and of course with contractors and with designers. So we're used at Transit to actually working well with people, but never quite the number that's been here. I mean, we've had even Transpower here because of all the cabling. So it's been a huge multi-agency job, and you would expect those sort of jobs to possibly have delays and not come in on budget and on time. And the fact that it has, I think, is a real credit to everyone.
This is a day of acknowledgement and thanks. So I want to acknowledge quite a few people here who have contributed so much to the success of this marvellous project.
ARC Chairman Mike Lee announced,
"This is an historic day, and a proud day for North Shore City, a proud day for the Auckland region, and a proud day indeed for New Zealand."
He heaped bouquets on Fletcher Construction for building the busway ahead of schedule and congratulated them for doing it within the allocated budget.
And I want to thank the organisations and the individuals within those organisations who made this busway happen. And I want to thank the workers of that great achieving company, Fletcher Construction, who toiled long and hard to build the busway ahead of schedule and on budget.
Mr. Lee particularly singled out the contribution of the former Mayor of North Shore City, George Wood, amid cheers from the crowd.
So, to Transit New Zealand, to North Shore City Council, and can I also here acknowledge the former Mayor of North Shore City, Mr. George Wood.
He recalled,
He was a passionate champion of this project from the beginning, and someone who doesn't get acknowledged, the thanks to Auckland City Council, who have worked in partnership with the other agencies. And partnership is something of a cliche, but the people and agencies who worked so cooperatively on this project were genuine partners, so they can all take a bow. But most of all, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the government, and in particular you, Prime Minister, because it should never be forgotten that it was the Clark Labor-led government that got the busway underway and completed it.
North Shore Mayor Andrew Williams declared that it was a huge day for North Shore and the Auckland region, and predicted that the busway would bring about a radical and social change in the way the public move about.
A warm welcome to you all. Many of you are North Shore people, but others have come from further afield around Auckland and New Zealand to this opening, which is a milestone for not only the North Shore and Auckland, but a milestone for the whole of New Zealand. It's wonderful to see you all here today. I realise it's pretty hot out there, so I'll try and get through my speech as quick as possible. It's a great privilege to be here as Mayor of North Shore in front of you on this amazing day introducing the busway. This busway is your busway. It belongs to the community. We've built it, now it's up to you to use it. There's so much here to make taking the bus a great experience. As you can see, and you saw in the videos, the stations are absolutely state-of-the-art. The buses themselves are comfortable. We have beautiful air-conditioned coaches. The waiting areas getting on and off are beautiful in the design that they have. Disabled access, lifts, bicycle lockers, drink machines, all sorts of things. This really is a wonderful mode of public transport. The orange safety points you see around you are connected directly to busway operation centres. So from a point of view of safety, buttons can be pressed and people can know that there are people watching the busway, keeping an eye on it. And so public safety is also a very high priority on this busway and for our users. Those of you who do commute to and from the Auckland CBD by car, I suggest that you really do seriously start planning what you're going to do with the extra spare time you might have by using the busway. I have commuted regularly to the Auckland CBD over the last 20, and I do see the buses flying by, and at times when I've taken buses, I've just been extraordinarily pleased with the saving in time I've made by taking the bus across to Auckland City rather than sitting in a car of traffic. The busway is here. Now we need you to embrace it. It's your busway, it's the first in New Zealand, and you should be proud of it. Find out how you can use it and take advantage of the opportunities that it offers. Public transport on the North Shore is about more than the busway. It's about North Shore being keen and working hard on areas like encouraging local roads, transit lanes. Many of you will have seen the transit lanes we're putting in around North Shore. Cycle lanes as well, pedestrian access ways, walking school buses, and it's wonderful to see the walking school buses here today. I was a walking school bus parent for a number of years, and it is really great to see walking school buses as part of our total integration of transport.
This is a milestone in the history for North Shore and also Auckland, but also it's a milestone for New Zealand. This is the $300 million busway and the start of a whole new way of people taking public transport. Safe transport, very modern, very efficient, very speedy and cost effective. And the days of people sitting in queues of cars on the motorway, queues of cars around the city are gone. With this busway, people can know that they can get on a bus and get somewhere on time, where they need to go, and efficiently. So it's a huge change, and it's going to change the social way that people can move about.
Dr. Wayne Mack, National MP from North Shore, exclaimed,
"Well, this project has been 10 years in the making, and it'll be a gigantic improvement in transport in the North Shore. Certainly George Wood and the previous council have had a huge role to play. Various governments, including the national government of the 1990s, had a large role to play. I've supported the busway right from the get-go, and I'm really pleased to be here today to see it opened so that North Shore commuters have got a new choice."
Former Mayor of North Shore City, George Wood, expressed his happiness.
Fantastic day for the North Shore City, and it's a fantastic day for the Auckland region that this busway is now eventually open. Look, I never thought this day would actually arrive. There was so many things have happened along the way, but look, it's really fantastic that it's now open.
How do you feel now that you're not the mayor, but you know one of your dreams is realized right in front of your eyes?
Well, look, I actually feel wonderful that this has happened. I think it's just a progress in a city like North Shore City. New council's on board, new mayor, they've got new ideas, but this was my dream, this was my passion to get this up and running, and it's all in place now, and it's going to happen. So I'm really relaxed about the whole situation.
When pressed on what he thought Mike Lee had in mind when he said there's a dearth of acknowledgement for him, he chuckled.
I think that, well, my involvement in this project was, well, it was complete. It was 110%. I did have a few sleepless nights because of we took a few risks, which was a bit naughty, but I think the partners worked together so well. But I have to acknowledge, and Mark Goshi was mentioned this morning, he was pivotal in getting this project up and running, and it really all happened, I think, at a meeting I had at his home one Saturday morning when, you know, he heard about what it was. He came over then and had a look at the project, what we were trying to do, and then it all came to pass.
But what did Mike Lee had in mind when he mentioned that not enough people are acknowledging your involvement and your contribution?
Oh, I don't know what Mike Lee may have been inferring there. I think that, you know, at one stage I was wondering myself, but no, I'm happy about the way it's all come together, and I'm enthusiastic that this is now going to be a great project for the future. I hope the buses are full to overflowing. I hope that we end up in a situation where we have to get more buses, but I'm certain that it'll be something that'll be really great for the future.
Your views on the new council?
Oh, look, I haven't got any real views, well, I don't want to really say anything about my personal views about the new council. I'm actually very disappointed that they've now started cutting out some of the major infrastructure projects, such as improving the wastewater. That's of real concern to me, and I'm really concerned that it's the people in the harbour ward who seem to be coming off second best over that. That's something which I didn't think would ever happen, but it's just amazing how quick situations can change.
Coming up next.
Fell into the position that I'm in, and it's a real blessing to be able to work with such a special man who fights for justice and truth.
Next week.
Scratches hatred against Islam are racists, and I look forward to the writ for libel if they'd like to serve it. They are racists who are seeking to whip up hatred amongst white people against non-white people. That's the game that they're in.
Number 5 out of 215. Auckland's international ranking for quality of life. Spin the Mirror on satellite, cable and terrestrial network. This program was sponsored by Auckland City Council. Number 5 out of 215. Auckland's international ranking for quality of life.